Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Ango, and in this video we got some massive news to discuss. Late last night, Cody Rhodes posted a very interesting Instagram story, and some people think he's joking around and trolling. Some people think it's actually legitimate. A lot of interesting stuff to discuss. Is Cody Rhodes retiring from pro wrestling? Also, an AEW wrestler has recently filed for a trademark, and we got to talk about a recently released WWE Superstar who has returned to AAA under a new name. As always, I keep you updated with everything happening in pro wrestling 7 days a week. I give you guys my opinions on all the biggest stories, and if you guys want more, go ahead and check out the links in the description down below. So we're going to talk about this Johnny Mundo, John Morrison, John Hennigan, Johnny Impact. Some people thought he might become Johnny Elite, but that's not the case, because now Johnny is now just simply John Superstar. And my goodness, I got to tell you, this guy has had so many different names. All of them pretty much suck. But at the end of the day, it's kind of like the gimmick now. John Morrison returned to AAA and now is known as John Superstar. Very strange. I don't know why or how or who decided to make that the thing, but unfortunately, it's true. Now with AAA, as you know, John Morrison was working there before. Same thing with like Killer Cross and Taya Valkyrie and Scarlett Bordeaux. So there is this belief that some people might not actually go to AEW or Impact. They might just go to AAA instead, which AAA is a viable option. So that's always cool. John Morrison, you know, in my opinion, I feel like he could be one of the better foreign international talent there, which is great. I mean, that's what you need. You need to have a little bit of mix of both. And I think this guy is just super respected out there too. So look, we'll see what happens as far as him coming to like AEW or Impact or whatnot. I have no idea at this point. There's not really talk about it. But also at the same time too, we're starting to learn about some budget issues with AEW, and we're starting to learn that Impact is not necessarily just bringing in people for the sake of bringing in people. They're trying to be a little bit more strategic with their signings. So who knows? Maybe John Morrison goes to GCW and then becomes Johnny Game Changer or something. But who knows? Like we'll see what happens. I'll let you guys know if there's anything more that comes up along the way. Another story that I want to talk about, and it really got me thinking, and it's going to kind of segue into our third story today, but Serena Deeb filed for a new trademark, which is the Professor of Professional Wrestling. Now, this was placed on February 15th. It is for entertainment and clothing purposes. So obviously, you know, entertainment services, clothing, that's going to be like merchandise, being on television, utilizing this gimmick, which is totally cool. I think Serena Deeb is doing great stuff with AEW in general. But it kind of got me thinking about trademarks in general, because Cody Rhodes, if he is in fact gone from AEW, what about all those trademarks that Cody Rhodes filed for? You know, these are the type of things that we don't really necessarily know about. But if you are somebody who is filing for trademarks individually and they're not trademarked by the company, how does it work if you leave the company? I would assume that the company will no longer have access to the trademarks because you obviously own the trademark. Like, let's kind of backtrack for a second. Serena Deeb trademarks the Professor of Professional Wrestling. For whatever reason, Serena Deeb leaves AEW, hypothetically. If she leaves AEW, you know, can AEW still refer to her as the Professor of Professional Wrestling, being that she owns the trademark and she's not there? And it kind of goes back to what I'm saying with Cody. Like, Cody owns trademarks, but once he leaves, can AEW continue to use that footage or whatever of any of those said trademarks? Now, the reason why I bring this up is because WWE typically trademarks everything. Whereas AEW, yes, they have filed for trademarks in the past, but a lot of the wrestlers technically, you know, they're able to go on the indies and do all of these different things. They want to own some of their trademarks. It becomes a very confusing and quite a weird situation in general, but it did get me thinking that like maybe AEW is the one that needs to start trademarking certain gimmicks and stuff, and then coming to an agreement with the wrestlers being able to use them elsewhere. I don't know. It's a very tricky situation, but the whole Cody Rhodes thing got me thinking. If Cody Rhodes is gone, then of course those trademarks, you know, it could become an issue, and maybe even lawyers need to get involved with that type of stuff. But yeah, the Professor of Professional Wrestling makes a lot of sense. If you're watching what Serena Deeb is doing on TV, a lot of this stuff is pretty damn sick, honestly. They're doing a good job with her on Rampage specifically. Guys, our final story of the day. This is the image that Cody Rhodes tweeted or put on his Instagram story. This is what retirement looks like. And now people are wondering whether or not Cody Rhodes is serious about retirement, which is really interesting because Cody Rhodes has been silent about his wrestling endeavors, but he's not necessarily being quiet on social media, whether it's promoting his show on TBS or other things. Nobody really knows if this is real. Now, what's really strange is a day later, or several hours later, Cody Rhodes has actually removed this from his Instagram story. So there are people that believe that this is Cody responding to the reports that he was at the Performance Center, he was in Orlando, Florida. This is Cody Rhodes just trying to work the crowd and stuff like that. Now, keep in mind, Wade Keller, Justin Barrasso, Sports Illustrated, they've already come out and said that he is headed to WWE. There are people that have come out, just aside from them in general, who have said he's going to WWE. And then there's this audience that believes it is completely a work. To be honest, if the amount of comments that I'm seeing that suggest that this is a work tells me 100% it's not a good work, because everybody's kind of guessing that it's a work, right? The best type of work is the work where you don't know you're being worked. So, yeah, I mean, that's the best type of work. Unless you're talking about a work that like pays you per hour. Okay, again, that's just ridiculous. But you get my point. I think, honestly, I don't think Cody Rhodes is retiring, but this is a really strange thing for him to do, because with him going out and saying this is what retirement looks like, I feel like this is no different than when he was messing with the fans for the Royal Rumble return. Now, keep in mind, technically at that time, Cody Rhodes could have actually been in the Royal Rumble because he wasn't contracted to AEW at that point. So, what I think is most important here is, when does he actually show up, if he shows up, and how long are they going to make us wait? So, and where, of course. Like, I don't think Cody should go to SmackDown. I think Cody should go to Raw. I think they need a little bit more of that star power. I also think Cody Rhodes being in a prominent storyline immediately is the most important thing ever. So, if he is actually retired, this is a strange way to announce it. But at the end of the day, this is his words, not mine. So, I'm bringing that to you. I'm broadcasting that to you with my opinions. I don't think it's legit. Especially, we've seen how he uses social media in the past. I think he's learned a lot from being with the Bucks and Kenny and being with AEW, in the sense that, you got to get these fans talking. You got to get people talking. You got to get a reaction out of these people. That is something that Cody Rhodes 100% understands. He understands the AEW audience at large. He understands the WWE audience at large. And he knows that teasing retirement will get people talking, just like we're doing today. Now, with that being said, if he is officially retiring, that would be interesting, but it wouldn't be shocking either. Do I think it is happening? No, I don't. But again, I don't think it would be shocking if he actually did. Anyways, I want to know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Let me know, and I will see you next time right here on Angle YT.